The views and opinions expressed on The Big Llama Show are those of the host and guest. They do not reflect that of our sponsors, advertisers, or employers. Enjoy the show.
It's in the she ruckus. Dead beat, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You ain't a killer boy, stop. I hear you yelling stacks on deck, boys.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Big Llama Show. I'm The Big Llama. Thank you so much for joining me. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Blackout AD. AD, man, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, brother. Another good day, another great episode we got planned.
Lots of good stuff happening. We've got some folks watching live already. Again, if you're watching live, make sure you're interacting with us. Make sure you're commenting. We'll hit you up in the comments. We'll interact with you as long as we can. Just a pretty casual conversation. Two guys just sitting around and, shooting the breeze about the week that's passed. Oh, the big homie's already hitting us up. He's saying right here, the Big Llama Sundays.
Hey, it's a good hashtag, actually.
That's a good one. That's a t-shirt in the making right there. All right. So, AD, we're going to talk a couple of things, and we're going to get right to the first thing, which, again, we cannot do this show without subscribers, and so we are so thankful. The show has grown to 163 subscribers so far. I think I have over 200 plus subscribers on Facebook. My Twitch is growing, 3 or 4 subscribers, even though I'm never on Twitch. And my most recent, oh God, what is that? What's the one? My TikTok. I've been hitting up TikTok to do some advertising, and I'm getting some followers there. Listen, every little bit helps, right? Every little bit helps.
Honestly, TikTok is super surprising. The only thing I don't see from TikTok is maybe like necessarily them moving over to other apps, but for TikTok itself, it's good exposure.
Yeah, no. I'm surprised at the number of hits I get on. Like I think each and all we do is post the thumbnail, letting people know about the content. Yeah. And I've seen 700 to 800 hits on these videos, and I'm just like, whoa. Well, maybe there's something out there. There's an audience there. I was debating going live on the TikTok while we were doing this, and then I realized they won't hear you, so it'll be a one-sided conversation. So that may be an idea for the future, but not right now. I'll have to figure out how to integrate the whole thing.
Yeah.
The funny thing is the subscribers, and I'm always looking at the numbers. I'm crunching the numbers constantly. The subscribers are coming from this one video. I think I had 15 to 16 subscribers just from one video alone. I did a reaction to LuLaRoe, the leggings.
Yeah.
Almost 4,500 views on YouTube. My number one video overall. What's cool is the lady who's featured in the document. This is what I love about it. I'm meeting new people. The lady who is in the documentary liked the reaction and has actually hit me up on Twitter. So we're Twitter besties now. Let's see. Oh, John Gillen is chiming in. Yo, John Gillen. Yo, how is it going? Road to 1,000. Yes, John. He's updated the hashtag from road to 100 to road to 1,000.
Sweet.
And Mama Llama is chiming in. She said it's not just leggings. Yes, they have dresses, shirts,
women
kinds.
Apparel. Yeah.
Ladies apparel. There's some men apparel there, I think, too. I think.
Oh, we're gonna get the leggings for Big Llama, the Big Llama leggings.
Listen, I'm not ashamed to admit things. I've worn those leggings. It was cold.
Understandable.
And I had to wear them underneath some jeans, and they were pretty darn comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. If it was acceptable for me to wear tight leggings in public, I would wear them in public. But I think there's some faux pas in that. I don't think I could do that. So yeah, not just like, oh yeah, and here she goes, and they were comfy. Yes, yes, they were very comfy. I'm not lying on that one. They was very comfortable. They were extremely comfortable, and it's making me extremely red. So this.
We got the short shorts. We got the leggings. What else? What else are we gonna pull out on this podcast?
This is a very masculine show, isn't it? We go from short shorts and leggings, and we've worn them, so that's how it goes. That's how it is. So no, what's again the Lulu Row lady is now interested in the Big Llama show. I've been debating because Mama Llama's watched the entire series. So she's going to do a review when she has time. She's been very busy with school. What is this? And tutus? They have tutus? What?
You got something to tell us?
Not me.
Is she leaking something right now?
I don't know.
Mama Llama's coming through with the leaks.
Explain yourself. What does this mean? Explain yourself. She just writes tutu question marks. I gotta question that. So she's gonna do a review on it, and I watched the last I think episode or so, which it was completely compelling documentary. What is this? Talent shows? Oh dear God. So listen, if Mama Llama, if we can find that video, then you have evidence. Other than that, until then, I'm denying anything and everything. So there's your clues right there. Tutus and talent shows.
Is this a reference to what happened last week?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
The secrets are slowly coming out. So those of you listening to this podcast, go to the last week's podcast so that you can see where this all started, where these discussions started.
These allegations.
I deny anything until the evidence is presented before me. So, talent shows. Thanks so much for keeping the secrets. So we're meeting new people, getting connections with people, which is just amazing, just an amazing thing. But one thing I did want to talk about is another big announcement, right? We keep moving up in the world of podcasts. So now we are on Apple Podcasts. So, if you're a Droid person and you want to listen to Spotify, you still can listen to us there. If you're an Apple person, you listen to Apple Podcasts, you can now listen to us on Apple Podcasts. Our entire Big Llama Show podcast is completely available on Apple Podcasts for free. There is no fees for any of our shows on the podcast. Only thing that we ask is that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps us support the channel. There are ways to donate, but again, we just want to get our content out there, get many ears listening to it. And again, Apple Podcasts, that's a big deal, man. I don't know what you felt about it, but I was ecstatic when we got that announcement.
Yeah, when you sent that message, I was super excited. And even like the reaction to it, I don't know why maybe necessarily people don't listen to podcasts fully on Spotify right now.
Right.
But I do know like a lot of people that I know personally are listening to it on Apple, and I got a good reaction from it. So it was a good feeling.
Yeah, I think they have a wider base for podcasts, and they've definitely got a bigger reach podcast market. So I'm excited. I'm excited that we get to transmit the show not only live on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, but now on all the different podcasting services. It's just amazing, and to me, it goes back to our independent spirit, right? We like back in the day, you would have had to have connections. You would have to know somebody in an industry to get your foot in the door. Now you can do it yourself, and so we're doing it ourselves. We're putting it out there. Again, the money is not the issue right here. Right now, is content.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the content out there, trying to get people to hear the Big Llama Show and AD. And then, we're venturing off. So, AD, I know you're doing a lot of streaming. So,
yeah,
what are you working on, man?
So, lately, I've been trying to figure out mostly where I'm going to take the streaming side of my content. And I've had a lot of talks with people. I mean, I love Call of Duty. We've been playing a lot of Call of Duty as like the Blackout group. But the exposure in Call of Duty is not where necessarily it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy to break through that. But we found a game called Splitgate, which is a FPS shooter. It's very new, and they're only on season 0 right now. They were made by like the developers. It was like 10, I think it's 1047 games. The game was made by 5 developers, and it got like this past couple months. I've just been seeing it everywhere growing, like because now it's like crossplay through all platforms. And I've seen like big streamers like streaming it, and then they just announced last week that they have like $100 million in investments. So to me, the views are a lot less. There's only like maybe 2,000 views at a time streaming on Twitch. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the exposure is a little bit there. The gameplay is great for like what I want necessarily, because like I could stream Pokemon and be content with that. But when it comes to gaming, shooters are where I'm at. I like the competitive side of it. So this game gives a good ranked. So it gives a good like that competitive side of it. It provides good content. And like me and all my friends are kind of like just destroying in it. So we look at it like, man, they just announced this $100 million investment. They clearly have goals with this game. They clearly can take this game. I mean, $100 million, like think about that. Like whoever's investing in it sees the potential in this game. So I'm just excited to like continue streaming. I mean, I streamed 10 hours I got off of work at like 12 last night, and I've been streaming ever since for the most part. So I see a lot of potential in that game.
Yeah, and you know me, man. I'm hitting you up every time I see you.
Yeah, every
time
to
support the channel. Yeah. And you know, and listen, I'm learning new stuff from you guys and the different things. Now, what I'm loving is I know you guys are doing the Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah.
I'm loving the fun interaction in between, and that's why I was like, "Hey, that guy's talking smack." I don't know who was talking. I didn't even know that was he was on your team. So it's been fun to watch, and I think as you get more and more exposure out there, you're definitely going to get more people out there watching you and watching the group that you guys have put together, because it's very entertaining. So if anybody's out there, looking for a gamer to watch, Blackout AD. That's your name on Twitch and everything, right?
Yeah, that's the name on everything.
All right, so Blackout AD on Twitch. Make sure you guys hit him up. Make sure you guys are looking for his stuff. All right, man. So excellent, man. Again, I keep seeing you out there. I want to make sure I'm plugging your stuff away too, man. So
yeah, man, we're grinding. I mean, like you said, I think that's the beauty of like what we're doing on Twitch is like the interaction between all my friends. You know what I mean? When we finally get you in there, I think it's going to be the same, like a good dynamic of just funny conversations. We're good at the game, but I think our ceiling is like our interactions for sure.
Listen, man, my kill death ratio is amazing. It's like 0.0. No, what's the worst kill death ratio you can have?
0.0.
Yeah, that's probably me. I don't have much. And I'm the guy who walks around with a grenade in his hands, like constantly just running with grenade. And then when you go to shoot him, I throw the grenade. And so I'm that guy.
Big homie's brother, he played with us during the pandemic. He never played Call of Duty before, but he loves rocket launchers. Now he wins more Warzone games than me, and I'm like, this guy elevated his gameplay. So hey, it's not too late for you, Big Llama.
Let's see. Big homie writes, Big Llama as a capo in GTA.
Oh, that's another thing. We're talking about doing like a GTA series, no camera, just like voicing through voicing through our characters. So that's another idea we're coming up with.
I am down. I'll do character voices. I'll do whatever, man. Trust me.
We're gonna start the Big Llama Mafia.
Oh Jesus. The Big Llama Mafia. That'd be great. Us just running around with red and white shirts like little Peruvians. We need to be about this tall though, running around. Bunch of short dudes. Oh man! All right, so let's talk. Look, I think that idea is amazing. Now that you mentioned, I'm excited now. I'm geeked up for it. You guys better do it. So yeah. I'm ready for my close up. All right, so some channel changes. So I wanted to talk about sort of my. I always imagined that the Big Llama Show, or at least the channel, right, that we're on YouTube, would be an ongoing sort of change. Would be sort of it would be anything that I wanted to put out there. And for a little while, I took a page from other people's books, right?
Yeah.
And so I tried to chase the big dogs, and not that I'm failing, but I'm getting really, really frustrated, right? And
Yeah.
so when I get to that point, I don't want to do it anymore, right? Or I get frustrated and I go, you know what, it's not worth it. And I got frustrated. I got really, really frustrated. And said, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to increase? Now, again, it's not about subscriptions. It's not about the number of people watching. It's just, if I do the right things, I'm expecting a certain outcome. I
Yeah.
want, if I hit the Spider-Man trailer in 30 minutes, I want to be one of the top guys getting hundreds of thousands of views. I know it doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
but that's what I've been chasing is these guys who do this full time, and they're putting out content 6 times a day, and they're getting 15 to 16,000 views per video every day. And they put out 3 or 4 videos. They're making a huge ton of money. And it's not about money, it's not about views, but I just wanted to sort of be recognized. So I realized I'm chasing these guys who do this for a living, and I just wasn't getting anywhere. I was getting frustrated. And there's a lot of pressure. Like, I put out 22 videos in the last week and a half
Yeah.
of just trailer reactions, movie reviews, you name it, I put it out there. And
Easily
so,
the hardest working llama.
truly, I would tell you every night I come in here. Like, again, I got a full time job, which is a pretty big job, full time, and I come home, wife, kids, make sure everything's taken care of, and then I come down and I'm doing this till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every night, and it's like it's eating away. So what I decided is I was going to try something a little bit different. I'm still going to do trailer reactions because I enjoy them, and I'm still going to do movie reviews.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to chase the volume that I was chasing before. So that's not going to change. I'll still do the trailers that I think I'm interested in. I found my niche. We talked about this last week. I found that these obscure trailers that no one's covering, that I'm enjoying, is getting me a lot of hits. A lot of people are interacting because there's a market for it. People, everyone covers the Marvel, everyone covers DC, everyone covers these big trailers. No one is covering the obscure Hulu documentary,
Yeah.
except for me, and me and I. There's a handful. I honestly, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I'm getting more hits that way, which is good. But what I decided I'm going to do is we're going to do full-length movie reactions, which I thought was ridiculous. And even recording my first one, I think I thought first of all, the first. So anyway, let's rewind. I did a full review. I watched the movie with the camera on my face, and I talked through the whole movie, which to me is counter to anything I've ever said about me watching movies. I want complete silence. Don't talk to me. Let me stew in my own thoughts. But what I had to do was just get those thoughts out there. So it was a weird session to sit back here for 2 hours and watch a movie and then just verbalize everything. And I'm thinking, am I talking too much? Am I talking too little?
Yeah.
And the one that I decided to do was Field of Dreams because that's the one that I'm famous for not seeing.
Yeah.
So, dude, I cried on camera. It hit me a little bit harder than I thought it would. And I didn't know what it was about. And that was the fun part, was sitting there asking myself these stupid questions like, who's that guy? Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
When are we going to find out this? And, so again, the lengthy one, the 2 hour one, I feel a little silly. I'll be honest. I feel a little silly. I put it out there. It's on my Patreon, and only reason it's on my Patreon because you can't put out 2 hours worth of content on YouTube, and you can, but you can't. And if there's copyright, it's a long editing process. So if it gets a copyright strike or not, at least on the Patreon you can watch it, and I can get some residual from it. So
Yeah.
I set it at $2. Something like that, like $2 for full access.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's just about sort of having a method in which these videos can be seen, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I even saw you said the videos that have gotten copyrighted or copywritten, you're putting there also.
Well, here's what I expect. Right, these videos, these movie reactions. Now, I cut a 30-minute version, which will be on YouTube, and I'm going to premiere it tomorrow. It's done, it's edited, it's ready. I just have to put it up and say premiere tomorrow. That's another thing I learned is a lot of people do these premieres when they put their video out. I put it out the minute I finish it, thinking, oh, I need to see a lot of eyes on it. But there's a lot of fatigue for the subscriber. If every morning you wake up and there's 16 alerts that they just put out 3 or 4 new videos. So I'm gonna make it a premiere. So if someone wants to watch it, they can set a reminder, and it will be out tomorrow morning sometime. I want to say between 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning it will be out. I'm going to set it up tonight and let it go out there. So the 30-minute version, the condensed version, has clips. So the first one that I did full length, there's nothing there. There's just me, a timer, and the little trailer, the movie poster. This one I incorporate clips and everything. And dude, I got choked up doing my 30-minute one. Like I'm editing the video and I know what part is coming, and I'm sitting there getting choked up doing it, and I'm like, I'm a big wimp. Is what it is, man.
Hey, you're just expressing yourself, and that's to me, that's the beautiful thing about watching films, watching TV, like the feeling you get when you're watching these things. Like if it affects you, it's written well, it's acted well. It's just, that's the experience people are looking for when they watch these movies. It's almost that escapism that people are looking for,
Yeah. And in the back of my mind, I had this one guy who commented on my Sopranos video. He wrote, "Who the hell wants to hear you talk throughout the entire trailer?" So in the back of my mind, I'm hearing his voice like, "Who the hell wants to hear you talk through this entire movie?" And I'm like, wait a second. People watch these things because they want to hear people's comments and thoughts on it. I respectfully told that guy to go somewhere, but
yeah, when you sent me that, I was like, he clearly doesn't understand YouTube reviews at all.
But you know what's funny? The good thing, and I think this is when you start getting more exposure. I'm getting more thumbs down than I have before, and so I'm like, okay, there's some haters out there. That's okay. I don't mind them. And again, I've engaged with a couple people who weren't that nice, and I just simply write back. I think we had that Twitter guy. Remember?
Yeah, we ganged up on him. Big Llama Mafia, we in here.
That's right. We're like the Beehive. No, but that guy, he was just looking for. He's like internet tough guy. He wanted to say something, and then he blocked me, so I couldn't see his stuff. So, But again, so the channel will change just slightly. Same good content, same honest reactions. But we will incorporate the movie watch-alongs on the Patreon, and then we're going to have the YouTube free edits on there. I think decent stuff. Again, that's my first one that I did, and it probably will change the format a little bit. I'm experimenting with different things, but getting the video to sync up with the voice and everything, that's the hardest part. The editing takes a long time for this kind of video, man. It's crazy.
We're still, we talk about this every week. We're only 16 episodes into this show. You know what I mean? You've only put I say only, you put a lot of videos out, but in the grand scheme of things, you only have 160 videos out, or 160 plus. You're still very early in what you're doing. And it's kind of like what I was talking about with the gaming thing, like finding what is going to give you the exposure for the content you're doing. Because I could stream 10 hours on COD and maybe get 2 viewers. But if I find a game that I'm just as interested in, that I have just as much fun in, that all my friends are having fun, you still get that funny banter, right, and we're getting 5 to 10 views, you know what I mean? Then to me, it's a little bit more worth chasing that. So that's all I see with that. And also going to the thumbs down thing. It's the same thing. You're making people feel something, whether it's good or bad, whether they like it or not, they feel something. And I think that's a testament to you and what you're doing. You know what I mean? That to me, those people who are haters, they're, you know what I mean? It's not for them. It's not their cup of tea, and it's all right. But at least they gave you that interaction. You know what I mean? They gave you that view. They gave you that thumbs down. They just showed you that, hey, you know what I mean? Your video made me feel something, whether I liked it or not.
Right. And again, That's all I'm asking is they watch the video. If they have a different opinion, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not always right, and I'm pretty fair and balanced. I'm pretty honest, but yeah, I'm not always right. And so there was the one guy there was another guy on Sopranos video was like, because I didn't like the ending of the trailer. And he's like, yeah, that's something that's throughout the thing. I go, hey, I can see that. I don't agree, but I can see that. But anyway. So yeah, the llama rants, as we remember, I said the llama rants are back, and so I went on a rant. I did a trailer reaction. The official movie review for Woodstock '99: Peace, Love, and Rage, and it was essentially a 15-minute llama rant about how terrible this documentary is, and I went in on this one for sure.
I gotta say, I think I said it on. Well, I didn't say it on the video, but this was definitely my favorite video from you because it showed how opinionated you were on this piece of thing, like this piece of content. And I was like, man, that's the kind of llama I like. Like you were just shooting at them. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Here's my reason for this. And I was like, man, I like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could praise some things, but if you don't like something, go for it, man. Let them know why you don't like it.
Yeah, man, and the thing is, it's easier to edit something like that because I'm not thinking of what do I say, right? Like I truly had it on the tip of my tongue exactly what I wanted to say on this one. If you haven't seen it, Llama Nation, go to the YouTube channel and check out the review. It's very, very interesting. I'll give you a brief snippet. Obviously, I didn't like it. Obviously, no, but no. In all seriousness, right? Like. It's one thing, and this is the gist of what I covered in the review. It's one thing to show something for its value, right? If something was atrocious, you clearly have to show what that is to sort of get the point across, and I'm all for that. The problem again I had with this particular thing is that, first of all, it's labeled as music box. It's supposed to be about music, and there's underlying things that come with music, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff. I get that. But like I came to it thinking, I'm a kid from the 90s. I love these bands that they're about to feature. And then there was this, seedy story about sexual assault, which again didn't turn me off from the documentary. I said, you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's what happened at the festival. Let me check it out. And so that was okay with me. I was okay with that. It was first you say, hey, look, there's been sexual assaults. They show a couple of things that were a little bit questionable, and that's fine. It shows some naked parts and for dudes, girls, all this kind of, which again, you have to say this was the climate that they were in. Fine. But after the first time you show that, after the first couple of minutes of that, it is now prevalent. There are just stuff everywhere. I mean, just stuff. I mean, they're showing ladies topless. They're showing all kinds of things. And I'm like, okay, if you're saying how bad it was, why do you keep showing it? That was my whole point was don't say it's bad and we should look down upon it and then glorify it and then just keep showing it over and over again. So that was my whole point in that one. And that's why it got the lowest rating that I've ever given a show. Oh, look at this, man. Okay, let me switch us back to this. Check this out, man.
Let's see.
Good morning from Scotland.
Oh snap! The frog surgeon, how you doing?
Frog surgeon, my God! Greetings, Scotland.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're here in the United States of COVID.
Yeah. And it is not morning.
It is not morning. It's late night, 10 p.m., almost 10:30 p.m. But the frog surgeon from Scotland, thank you so much for hitting us up. We appreciate you being on. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, we're reaching Scotland on Twitch.
Yep, that's dope.
That is awesome. So, frog surgeon, good morning from Scotland. How you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm the big llama. I'm from Florida. AD, he's in Colorado, all part of the United States. Oh, look at that. He's saying it's all good. It's all good, man. This is awesome, man. I am now excited about the show. Like I was always excited about the show. Now I'm even more excited. I got some overseas connections there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Awesome. Going to the. I didn't watch it obviously, but to me it's like, from what you were saying, it just sounds like they knew what was gonna get the clicks. You know what I mean? They knew glorifying the bad parts of that concert was gonna get more views than if they just talked about the musicians. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just is what it is.
and and I probably could have forgiven the, just to continue, like, again, okay, so you decided to go in that direction, you're going to keep showing people's bits all over, and again, it was both male and female, so here we are looking at all kinds of people's bits, and I'm like, listen, enough is enough. I've seen one too many. Thank you so much, but I was okay with that, and then they went into like why these guys did it, right? Or they were trying to figure out why people were so angry, why the demographic was so angry, why they rioted, why they looted, why they did this, why the sexuals, and it was essentially, well, they were young, doing dumb shit, and that's about it. And that's what pissed me off. I think took me over the edge, which is, no, you can't just say that's what they did. You can't just say that's okay because they were angry.
Yeah.
Like it was really that was to me like the thing that really got me going. And then they tried to equal it a little bit by saying, hey, did you notice there was only 3 headlining acts that were female? And that was a 5-minute segment. And it was like, okay, so, we don't know why. And then they just moved on. So I just, it was irresponsible, I think. So, whew, there goes my rant on that one. So
you're saying it's not worth the watch?
Honestly, if you were looking at it for the music aspect, or if you thought, oh, let me check this out because I really wanted to, I wasn't going to go to Woodstock '99, but I wanted to see what it was all about. I know there was a pay-per-view, so that's why I watched it, and severely disappointed. So yeah, lowest rating on my channel, got an F rating. So no, I do not recommend it at all.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. Man, the frog surgeon, man, he excited me, man. He's still there. He's all good. Scotland. We're touching Scotland, man. That's awesome, man.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, man. That is crazy. All right, so a couple of things. 2 things. One, before we get into the weekend review and we start talking about some Marvel stuff, I want to talk about and I don't like to bring the channel down or the show down, but next Sunday is the 26th.
Mm-hmm.
And it is my birthday. So I will be live here on the channel on my birthday, which will be exciting. We'll maybe I can convince some people to come in on the channel and give me some birthday wishes on the channel. So
we're gonna have to get you like a little cupcake with a llama on it and a candle.
Right. So
right.
So yeah, next week is truly a big Llama Sunday. It is my birthday, and so I'm excited about that. But as part of that, and the reason I said I don't want to weigh this down, oh, look at this. Mine's is the 26th of October. I will be 49. Wow. Okay. Nice. The October baby's there. Yeah. No. I mean, my son's in October, my youngest son. So right there. I mean, 49. We're close. We're close in age. We're not that far away. No, the reason I said I want to bring the channel down, I just want to do like a little PSA, right? Honestly, for us guys in our 40s, we're getting up there. Especially, hold on, let's see, hold on. I don't want to hit the big 5-0. No, we do not. We do not. Trust me. You want to take in those 40s as long as you can. AD, you're in your 20s, right?
Yeah, late 20s.
Frog Surgeon, he's 20. He's 20-something, man. I'm in my 40s. He's 20-something. So, somewhere in between, we're going to have to meet. But, yeah, don't want to hit the big 5-0. No, PSA, honestly, because I had a coworker of mine who got really sick and had some heart issues. And I said, you know what? I haven't been to the doctor in some time. And I decided because that person got ill, that said, you know what? I don't want that to happen to me. So I went and got checked out, and I got some complications, got some issues. So it's not anything serious, and at least not right now. But I would say anybody watching, like if you're getting in your 40s, actually, if you've got insurance, go to the freaking doctor. Like, go get yourself checked out. That's all. That's just wanted PSA to do that because, again, sometimes people think that they are fine, right? They feel fine. Like, again, I feel fine. I think everything is great. And I go over there and they're like, this is elevated. This is elevated. You might want to check this out. And so now I've got to do some tests and some things, and which is fine. You know, it's part of being old, part of getting older. But again, if people are out there and you're listening to this, please make sure that you at least go get checked out. Go to the doctor, do the routine annual physicals, and follow up. So that's only my PSA, man. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, even at my age, at this point, like seeing people around us or like around me and like getting older, you know what I mean? And then you got the pandemic and like the ramifications of that. It's something I definitely like. At the beginning of the year, I was kind of like overweight. I was overweight, not kind of. I was overweight, and I haven't gone to the doctor since. But that's something that has been heavily on my mind. Like, man, you just need to like just make sure, because you don't want to get surprised. You know, like surprised with something. Like even like when I went, it was a couple years ago, probably like 2-3 years ago. I moved back to Florida after like college baseball and stuff, and I had kidney stones. And like I said, I never went to the doctors or nothing. And like one day it was just like it was hurting, and I was like, "What the hell's going on with me?" Went to the doctors, found out I had kidney stones. And that was like a big factor of like, hey, you need to lose weight, you need to like get healthy. So I mean, I think that's a good message, because you never know. You know what I mean? You never know.
Don't know what's underlying. You know, hopefully everyone's healthy. Hopefully everyone goes to the doctor and they say everything is fine. But like I said, I now have to follow up. I have, you know, the big llama has to be a little bit more of the svelte llama, a little bit, a little lesser big, you know, and that's okay. And I've known that for a couple of years now, that I'm not in the best shape that I could be, and that's fine. So, all right, let's see. We got the Frog Surgeon, man. The Frog Surgeon's coming in strong. Here we go. He says, I was a teenager in the 80s, and it was the best era ever. No technology like today, and I was glad of that. You know what, man? I will tell you this, man. I do miss. Now, I was a teen, not teen. I was a kid in the 80s, and I was a teen in the 90s. Yeah, I do kind of miss not having all the technology like today. Like, I know I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah.
So I know that I look at my phone way too much, and I'm on it way too much, both for work and for this show. And
I was about to say, probably more so now that you have like a YouTube channel and you're like constantly looking for things to review, things to just keep up with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I honestly, and it's I saw a video somebody posted that said, you know, checking your YouTube likes or checking your social media feeds is a form. I think it's like a dopamine, right? Like
yeah.
If you get likes and you get something new happening on your channel, it gives you a rush, a sensation.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it's a downer. Like you're. And I felt that. You know, on some days where I get, you know, 3 or 4 new subscribers, all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling up. I'm hot. But then I check it like 2 hours later, the subscribers haven't changed, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. But it's an addiction, man. I honestly, I can say I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I loved it back then because there was a little bit. It's, you know, it's funny. It's good and bad, right? Like you can't say everything back in the 80s was the greatest, right? Or the 90s. There were some things that we definitely could have used from today, like faster internet speeds and that type of stuff. But you know, I miss that stuff. I miss like again. So you're gaming with your buddies, right? You're on. We're doing it for content, and we are having a good time. But I do miss going to a friend's house.
Yeah.
And like, you know, bringing the video games with me or bringing my console with me and just having a night of it, you know. Blockbuster, go pick up some videos and, you know, watch 3 or 4 videos, and you know, I'm up until 2, 3 in the morning. So it was a simpler time, I guess, for some, but you know.
I mean, some of my best memories growing up were just me and my boys. We're outside playing catch, like throwing the baseball around. We used to have a dock in the back of Big Homie's house. We all used to just hang out on the dock and just enjoy our time, like face-to-face contact. I mean, now we still have that with the gaming in terms of like the camaraderie and hanging out, but like it's not the same. It's definitely not the same.
Right. I mean, group chats and group texts are like the thing, and we cut up in them. I know I've got a couple of group texts I'm in, and I'm cutting up all the time, and it's fun, but it's kind of not the same. I mean, again, I'm older and I've got different reasons for friends, but It was a simpler time. So Frog Surgeon, thank you for that. That's a
It's
great
almost like
topic.
the internet brought us closer. Ultimate Frisbee days, yeah, those were the days, man. Those were the days. But it almost feels like the internet's brought the world closer, but also made us a lot further from actual human touch, human interaction. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah.
like even like there's times when I'm outside, like I go eat a lot by myself just because I'm single, you know. No, but I go eat.
Ladies.
I go eat a lot by myself, and I mean, 90% of the time that I'm just sitting there eating, I'm on my phone, and you know what I mean. I'm not even like worried about what's around me. I'm just on whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean. I'm just there to eat. I'm checking, YouTube, checking Twitter, checking all like whatever video I posted that week, and I'm not necessarily connected with the world. I'm just on my phone. So it's like in a weird way, it brings us closer, but it's also bringing us further apart.
Yeah. No, I mean there's access to people and there's people from high school that I've kept in contact with over the years. I haven't seen them in 25 years,
Yeah.
but I've talked to them almost regularly for the last 10 years or however long Facebook has been around. Yeah, I mean it's a fascinating subject for sure, and one that we could probably explore even further detail with other people. And I would imagine if you grabbed some younger folks and some older folks and we sort of talked about it, every single one of them would tell you the same issue, right?
Yeah.
We're all connected. We're all part of this now, sort of huge world. But I think it's all not fake, but it's all just not, it's superficial, right? It's not meaningful contacts, and there is no consequence. So, like for example, you and I are talking online here, and that's it, right? I can leave any moment I want and walk out the door, right? And it's not gonna, I don't have to deal with you after this.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when it was friends and guys you hung out with, if something went sideways, you had to deal with that person. You had to see them every day, and so
Yeah.
there's a disconnection there. So for sure. So yeah, ultimate frisbee days from the big homie. That's what he's telling you there.
Hey, those were the days, man. There used to be like 15 of us just random soccer field playing ultimate frisbee. This is like right after we graduated too. It wasn't even like during high school. It was like after we graduated. That was our way to like stay connected with each other. I think that was like, honestly, now that I think about it, that was like our last like couple summers where we were all like still around before everybody started moving separate ways and like actually growing up.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't realize when that last day was, right?
No.
Nobody knows when that last day was when you were with your friends, or I don't even remember it either, except for I graduated high school and then there was a couple of parties, and then it all went away. It all went away. My life after high school has been just steamrolling these last 20 some odd years. So interesting stuff. So again, Frog Surgeon, thanks for the topic there. Let's get into the week that was, the week in review.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it, and let's start with the great show, the Marvel Studios What If, the show that is shocking me on a weekly basis. I think we didn't talk about the Doctor Strange episode.
No.
That was the one that was 3 weeks ago. And, I'm watching this show, and I'm shocked at, first of all, how it keeps my attention. It's a 20-minute show. It feels like it's an hour long. Like I want it to be more, and then it just ends. And the way that these shows are ending, it doesn't end well.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk spoilers for anybody who's on there who hasn't seen the show or seen any of the episodes. We're going to get into spoilers. So please make sure that you've seen the show. So the Doctor Strange episode I thought was fascinating. I mean, but dark as hell.
I mean, ever since the last episode we did talk about where the Avengers all died,
Right.
like ever since that episode, they've been getting progressively darker and darker. To me, this episode was probably the darkest. I didn't see the zombie episode. Not when you showed that picture, I was like, damn, I haven't seen the zombie episode. But with the Doctor Strange episode, I mean, it showed. I mean, all these what if series are basically kind of like the story we know, but they give you like a different turn. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of him going left, he went right. And this one showed like how powerful Strange is,
Right.
but it also showed like how Strange could potentially be very I don't want to say evil, but he could take a turn to the dark side if you know what I mean. Like if this was and there's a lot of speculation of like this show carrying into like the MCU movies, and then they're saying like this Strange. I guess they call him Strange Supreme, but they're saying he might show up and be like the Mephisto type character that everybody was talking about before.
Yeah.
That he might show up like in the actual MCU and be like that. So if they go that route, then we're in for a very dark MCU. At least this next phase.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't know how powerful. Now, obviously, from the comic books, people do know how powerful he is, but I think it does a great job of illustrating for Doctor Strange in this episode how powerful he really can be. Why he's called the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he took on beings and sucked them in as part of his life force.
Yeah.
I mean, he just kept gaining powers, and I mean, it's just insane. And then he killed the universe. I mean,
yeah. And he was, and the dark and the sad part of it was all because he lost his loved one, and he just wanted her back. And bringing that to that point, they gave us a new term which they haven't talked about at all. I mean, Loki kind of opened up the multiverse, but in this episode, they were like, his girl dying was an absolute point in the timeline, and they haven't really mentioned that. So like now I'm kind of curious of like when you look back at like the MCU, like even I guess Endgame, where he's like there's only one way we win this, and to me that's like an absolute point. So they kind of gave us a name for that.
Yeah, and it was just now what it does a good job of, and again I don't know if they did it on purpose. I'm sure they did it on purpose, but you watch Loki and you get introduced to these timeline points and how important Nexus events are. Right before that, we didn't know what a Nexus event is. Yep. What Nexus events are and how they change the timeline. And for this particular episode, you clearly know that her death. I forgot her name.
The Natalie Portman character. I don't know her name either.
Right. We know that for sure that has to happen. Now, I was in the same boat. Like the first 2 times that it happened, I'm like, oh, don't drive the car, right?
Yeah.
Don't take a different, stay home, And then she just kept dying all kinds of different ways, and that was the part. And again, this is bold for Disney. Like this is a Disney Plus series. It's a cartoon. I'm surprised there's not more parent groups like up in arms about the shit that they're pulling, because it's like dear God, like they are really exploring dark themes.
Yeah.
I mean, death and like almost like, what was it? Final Destination, right?
Yeah.
That's essentially what it was. You can't cheat death. You can't beat it. And then he kills the universe in trying to get these powers. And I mean, again, I was shocked and how dark it got. And I think it ended dark.
The most shocking thing is that it's a cartoon.
Right.
Because to me, when I first saw the What If series, I thought it was going to be just a fun take on different scenarios in the universe. But like we said, every episode seems to be getting darker. And to me, it also seems like they're connecting these storylines. So we'll get like a payoff probably the last couple episodes. But every episode is getting darker and darker. I mean, him weeping at the end of it, just saying, please, like that was like a chilling ending. I was like, damn, like they're really going to end it like this?
Right. And it went fade to black, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was over. I was like, damn. And then he talked to the Watcher, and that's how I knew he was powerful.
Yeah.
That him and the Watcher were having a little conversation. That hasn't been done.
Yeah. Have you noticed every episode the Watcher like gets more visible?
Yeah.
He's a little bit more clear.
Yeah, he's a little bit more pronounced in each of the episodes. Like it starts him as he's like a distant image, and I think this last episode he's like right there.
He's like right there. You can see like the color of like his clothes and stuff. I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, I think the show was great. I think it wasn't what I was expecting. And like you were saying, I was expecting for it to be a little bit more fun.
And they spoon fed us the first couple episodes where it was just like
they set us up.
The Peggy Carter thing. Then you see T'Challa becoming Star-Lord.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like just fun, different iterations of that timeline. and then they start getting dark when they kill the Avengers. Like that's when we should have known. Like, oh, they're not playing with us. They're not playing with us.
They set us up, man. They set us up big time because I was like, "Yo, that's fun. Look at T'Challa. Oh, look at Peggy Carter. Look at you." And all of a sudden, like Avengers dead, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Hey.
Oh, and I was thinking, "Oh, okay, maybe they're gonna reverse time. Maybe they're gonna do something to bring them all back." No, they're dead. They're in a coffin. They're dead. And then this episode hits, and I know you haven't seen it, but I won't spoil the ending. But I was so shocked because I wasn't sure what I was watching in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah,
because it looked just like the beginning of Infinity War, where come to the children of Thanos, like all that stuff is happening.
Yeah,
and oh my god, these guys show up and they're superheroes as zombies eating other people. Like they're tearing stuff up. You see like entrails. I'm like, this is a kid show.
Yeah, they're clearly. I mean, it doesn't it feel like Marvel? I mean, even the Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange movie, like they're slating that to be like the first Marvel horror film. So it seems like Marvel's really trying to change the tone of like what they're going with this next phase.
Well, you know what's happening, and this is a smart move, is they've got an aging audience.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think, they've been around now, 12, 13 years now?
Yeah, around there.
They have, kids who have grown up in the last 10 years watching the first Iron Man. Now they're 20 years old, 22. They're going to want more adult-type themes.
Mm-hmm.
And so this isn't a bad move for them. Now they have properties that are a little bit more risque with Deadpool. The X-Men can be, if depending on what version they decide to put out there. But it's not a bad move for an aging audience because that's what tends to happen with a lot of audiences is that they grow up and then they move past the material. And so it becomes their kids' stuff or the next generation's thing. And then they're not as into it as like for example, the Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
Right? Harry Potter was huge because it was on for 8 to 10 years. The kids grew up with it. But after, there's no shelf life for it. Like, it quickly died off.
Yeah.
And now you have Fantastic Beasts that can't find a leg to stand on, so that movie series is crap. It's complete crap. I've fallen asleep through both movies.
Honestly, haven't even tried to watch them. And I'm a fan of the Harry Potter series. I was like, you could keep that.
I was excited for the first one because I liked the actor and I really did like it. I just like midway through I was like I'm zoning out. I can't do this anymore. I can't take this. And then the second movie for sure. Okay. Oh, here we go. Watch how you speak of Harry Potter.
This guy loves Harry Potter, bro.
They've got a whole park keeping them alive. Yes, no. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying, big homie, please hear me out. I love Harry Potter. I have the 8-disc collection Blu-ray. I have the whole collection. I love the movies. I just think that beyond the reach of those kids, there's not much more for them. But yes, there is a park. But who goes to those parks? Adults. And they're bringing their kids.
And they're there for the butterbeer.
And they're there for the butterbeer. And that's what I'm there for. Frozen butterbeer. So let's see, big homie. The B stuff comes down to investing in the actors. Yes.
Wasn't Johnny Depp a part of it?
Johnny Depp was the main villain, I think. Mm-hmm. But, it's the thing about Harry Potter is you grew up with him.
Yeah.
Right? You saw him as a child. You were invested. It takes 8 movies to tell his story. And I think what would have helped the Fantastic Beast is to have some link. And I know there was with Dumbledore. I think it was Jude Law was Dumbledore, which was great. And that's the thing. I want to love it. But no, I just can't get into it. I don't know, man. It's like what's that movie? Total Recall. I've never, maybe I should do it on the show. I've never watched Total Recall from beginning to end, the original Arnold Schwarzenegger one. I always fell asleep after the big woman thing, and then she comes out of the woman, and that's it.
He's like, this is where I go to bed.
There are movies like that I used to go to sleep to. Did you have that? Like you would watch and be like, all right, time for bed. Let me just put this movie on.
There's shows like
Yeah.
the Vampire Diaries. I love the Vampire Diaries, but when I want to go to sleep, I put the Vampire Diaries on and I just let it run and I just knock out because I already know what's going on. I'm just going to sleep. Movies wise,
I'm gonna tell you mine, but you're gonna laugh.
there's not a movie that comes to mind where I'm like I instantly fell asleep. But there's been times, like, don't get me wrong, there's been times where I've gone to the theaters and like movie's not interesting and I just knock out.
Yeah, no. So I have two movies. While you're thinking, I have two movies that, and I had the VHS. So mind you, this is young Llama. This is not me now. Actually, if I watch them now, hopefully I won't fall asleep. There's the Brendan Fraser, George of the Jungle.
Oh man, that's a classic.
It's a classic. I love the movie. I've seen the movie. I'm not even kidding. I've probably seen the movie 10 to 15 times. I love the movie, but I had the VHS, and so what I would do is I'd pop in the VHS, and I'd just turn it on, and like right after the first 10 minutes, I'm out cold. I'm out. Let's see. Big homie here. I knocked out during the Dark Knight in the theaters.
Oh my god. That boy dropped a bomb.
That is bold, big homie. That is bold. He said he knocked out during the Dark Knight in theaters. Oh, that's significant right there. That's major shade on that movie, man.
I hope you were just tired because that's a cult classic.
Oh my god, that movie! Like, listen, no.
R.I.P. to Heath Ledger. He didn't even give him respect.
R.I.P. to he was out cold. Look, I guess he knocked out. Hey, don't go to that midnight showing anymore, big homie.
That's probably what it was. Too,
exactly. Hold on. He's got an explanation.
Definitely. Okay.
Definitely tipsy. All right.
Makes sense.
Listen, I'm okay with that.
If I'm being all right, well, since you said that, if I'm being honest, my first movie experience in the past couple years was Shang-Chi. I had a couple drinks before Shang-Chi. Not gonna lie, spoiler alert, not gonna lie, when they talked about his mom dying, I was sleeping. I was sleeping. I missed the whole backstory of his mom dying. It was like, I woke up and was like, wait, they explained it? I think I watched a new Rockstar video and they like showed a clip. I was like, I don't remember that at all.
There was dancing. That's why there was slow rhythmic dancing.
Oh, they put me to sleep with their fancy moves.
Oh man. Oh, so listen, both of you, big homie and AD, you got some explaining to do, man. Jeez. Oh, yeah. Don't drink and watch movies. That's not a it's not a good combo. Actually, if I drank and watched movies, yeah, I'd be out cold before the credits rolled. before the opening scene, it'd be like, welcome to the IMAX.
Right after the popcorn finishes.
That's it, man. I'd be done. Oh dear God. That's pretty good, man. That's funny. Yeah, so George of the Jungle was mine, and Dracula Dead and Loving It. The spoof. It's a spoof movie. I put it on and watched it within 20 minutes. I was so VHS tapes. These were all VHS tapes, and I'd wake up in the morning. The VHS would be ejected out and sitting on there, and I'd have the static on my screen. Oh my God. Man. The Dark Knight. That's a major shade right there.
That was a bomb. I didn't even know that, dude.
It's a new side of Big Homie that you see.
Yeah, I was like, wow. This guy doesn't respect cinema.
No. But again, my mom fell asleep at Batman '89.
Oh yeah, you did tell us that story. You did tell us that.
Mama Llama fell asleep at Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Attack of the Clones. But that was because it was a midnight showing. I
was going to say, that, well, if it's a midnight showing, and those movies are long as hell, so yeah, it kind of makes sense.
If you remember Attack of the Clones, it's the one with the love story and the sweeping music, and they're playing on the
Padme.
Yeah, I love you. I hate sand. But you hear that music and it's like, you're done. So yeah, I think we've all had that moment where we've either fallen asleep or or nodded off or something like that. But now me as an old man sitting out on my couch, if I'm not into the movie, I'm out cold. I'm done. Like it's got to hold my attention, or else I'm done. Or if I'm doing it for the show prep, or movie
Wide
review,
awake. He's wide awake.
I'm wide awake because I'm like taking notes. I'm
Llama
watching.
doesn't sleep on the job.
No, I can't. You know what I saw? I think you might have seen it, but the dude that was live streaming the Drake album.
Oh yeah.
Like that is the most embarrassing thing you could possibly do. And
Now you gotta understand. You gotta understand. He was off the Henny. And he does that multiple times. Not just the Drake review. He's fallen asleep on stream multiple times. So it's part of his MO. And I thought it was funny. I was like, because I literally tuned in when the Drake album, that was like literally, I listened to the Drake album on my way home from work, got home, and I was like, I know Academics is streaming right now. And literally, live, I go on and he's knocked, and I'm like, oh, all right. That boy had a little bit too much Henny tonight.
But I love how they spliced his intro, right? They're like, Drake, it's fire. It's better than Kanye. Da, da, da. Like he's going off, and then like he's out there, he's just sleeping, man. I'm like, oh my god.
What made me mad about that too? He still had like 30,000 more viewers. That man was hitting 30,000 viewers knocked.
We're over here like busting ass trying to get viewers on here. He's got 30,000. He's sleeping. Maybe we should take a nap on the air. For 10 o'clock comes, we just be asleep at the thing. See how many people tune in.
We're both tucked into our own beds.
Oh my god! You know what I saw too on because I've been on TikTok a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean, people just ridiculously go live, and they're like, they don't even know what they're doing. They're just live, and this one girl fell asleep. She had the phone right here, and she was out cold. And there were these dudes trying to hit her up for info. They're like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" Doing the little flower thing. I'm like, "What are you doing? This girl's asleep. This girl's asleep."
Those are the guys you got to watch out for in Woodstock 99.
Exactly. They were at Woodstock 99.
Those guys were wild.
Oh
boys.
my god. Oh dear God. So yeah, big homie and tipsy there. No, that's I'm shocked. I am shocked. So yeah, getting back to what if. Yeah, again, the episode was good. I think you would enjoy it, AD. Just check it out. It's pretty interesting how the whole zombie show, but it does end very dark. Yeah. Just like the other episodes. And then I think the latest episode was Killmonger, right? Which I thought Killmonger was going to be turned into a hero. And then I thought, oh, wait a second, the stuff with his dad still happened.
Yeah.
So that to me was amazing.
It was an easy tell because the Watcher said, what was his exact words? I believe it was like, no matter the circumstances, a villain still. Oh no. He saved Tony Stark, so Tony Stark doesn't become Iron Man.
Right.
And he's like, we lose a hero, but a villain still rises. So that was a telling sign. I was like, oh, well, this is not going to go the way I thought it was initially, because like I said, I thought this was their way of giving Michael B. Jordan like his good guy role in the MCU. And it was definitely not the good guy role.
No. And poor Ulysses Claw gets it again. That dude can't get
absolute point. It's an absolute point.
That's it, man. Ulysses Claw has to die.
Yep.
But I think what was funny is that because of Iron Man not being around, so many little things like Ulysses Claw doesn't lose an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, there's a lot of little things if you watch that episode again that didn't happen that you go, oh, that's why, because he's here, so on and so forth.
Even just Tony Stark as the character, like we see what Tony Stark becomes without becoming, like, I mean, obviously when he dies in Endgame, he's a changed man. He's not the same rich playboy, for lack of better terms, dickhead. Right. He's just, you know what I mean? Like he actually becomes a complete human in a lot of ways. But with this, you see him continue that role that he was in the first Iron Man, and he just never grows past that.
Right. He doesn't have the big arc. He doesn't have the change. He's that guy on steroids, because now he does what he wants with his money. He's got Killmonger as his, has his security. And I mean, that was crazy. He killed Rhodey, right? He
Yeah.
killed him. Killed Stark.
Who else?
I was like, damn.
I mean, T'Challa. He killed T'Challa.
Right, to kill T'Challa.
Which was like, honestly, my first thought was like, damn, they're gonna kill him.
Right. Like,
they're gonna kill him.
My son was like, "No, they just knocked him out." I go, "Nah, he's dead."
Nah, he's dead.
And then they showed the coffin, and I'm like, "Oh man, that's it." These poor kids, man, watching Disney Plus, they're watching T'Challa, like, "Oh, they go T'Challa." Oh, he's dead. Some kids are growing up these days.
I thought the most powerful scene though was because I mean he made it very clear, like it honestly threw me for a loop because the whole premise of it was basically he had Tony Stark create a vibranium robot that basically was going to be the replacement for like soldiers. And right. He destroyed I thought it was like he was going to take over Wakanda using those things. And nah, he was like, I want something bigger. And it didn't click when he said that until after they got into the war. He really just wanted the Black Panther powers. But I thought the most compelling scene was at the end when he sees T'Challa in that, like I guess like the heaven for them, like where T'Challa seen his father. He sees T'Challa, and like I thought that was the most powerful part because it was like T'Challa was like, he's like, at what cost did you do this? He's like, yeah, you might feel good now, but it's gonna affect you in the long run. And I think that's where the show shows it's tying up for a bigger purpose. It's not just separated stories. I guess they're coming together with like one arc that's gonna. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's hard not to think that this is gonna affect the MCU in some kind of way.
Well, it's a time. I think it's a timeline that can happen, right? Or that they can revisit. They say, okay, remember the what if continues, right? Like here's Killmonger as the Black Panther, which is a great way to bring him back in. Now, under those circumstances, no, like the way he got the Black Panther power, he definitely manipulated everybody into it. But there's no doubt in the Wakandans' minds that he is the Black Panther. So that's what starts the conflict, Wakanda versus everybody else, because he's lit that fuse.
And he didn't betray them at all.
No. Well,
so like he has them on his son. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like they are now loyal to him, except for Shuri, who at the end goes to see Pepper. Yeah. To let her know, hey, I know what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that again, the show is phenomenal. I think just not what you expect, and that's great.
Yeah,
that's great because it easily could have been a throwaway show, but it's making people think. It's making people look at these characters differently, and then it is a glimpse into what the comic book people have already been aware of, which is that there are very different kinds of characters out there. All have different either evil arcs or different timelines, and so I think it's a nod to the comic book guys.
Yeah.
So actually, before we segue to the next one, I do want to talk about my comics that I got.
Oh, you got them?
I got them.
Oh, sweet.
So I'm going to give a preview here because I did an unboxing. I have an unboxing video coming. Look at that.
Nice.
First channel, exclusive unboxing. But Caps on Comics, which is Caps is the guy's name, won this on one of his YouTube channels, and he gave me a signed copy of this one, the crossover. It says here signed and verified, so I have a little signature on there, and I got a certificate back here, and I tell a very sad story. So here's what I'm gonna tease anybody who's watching this. You have to watch the unboxing so you hear the very sad story about my comic book collection. But yeah, no, I mean, I hadn't collect comics for a good reason, and it'll be on that video. So see, look at that. I recorded the video. I just got to release it. That's all.
Hey, we're ready. I get the notifications when you drop it. I'm like, let me go check this out real quick. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah,
that's dope that you got the comics though.
Yeah, no, it was my first. It was cool. I knew they were comics because he said that I'm sending you comics, but it was cool. Like it was one of those unboxings that I was like, oh, let me check it out, and I didn't cut the camera or anything. I just went straight to opening it up, and I showed the stuff. I'm like, here's what I got, and then I need help though because I haven't been in the comic book game in quite some time.
Yeah.
So I'm asking the Llama Nation or whoever watches the video, like, hey, help me out. Like, are these worth anything? Is this any good? Like, and should I read this one or should I? And I was like, there's a couple old looking ones in there. And I'm like, should I open it? And should I read it? Like, can I? Like, am I going to ruin it?
Like, should yeah.
It's a maybe, should I? That type of thing.
I guess it's not sad, but I do have a comic book story as to why I don't collect, and a part of me wants to collect. So like my father died when I was like 7. He had a huge comic book collection, and like he's the reason I love Marvel. And I think I'm probably like, even now to this day, I'm still like so connected to these characters because like he used to take me to KB Toys. I don't know if you remember that, but like he used to take me to KB Toys, and we used to get like big size figures of like every Marvel character. I had like 4 different Spider-Man suits. Like that's how I learned all my lore, through like these toys. He would tell me like their story arc and stuff. And when he died, my mom put all the comic books in like a storage, and then like a couple years later, literally all my toys, all the comic books, I thought I was gonna keep them. Like in my head, I was like, when I grow old, I'm gonna have these collection. Then I remember I asked her like probably like 5 years later, like, hey, whatever happened to those comic books? She said, oh yeah, I let that storage go. I'm like, bro, like, I had a whole comic collection, bro. All my toys, literally every action figure that I would probably still have, probably like in the background to this day. I'm like, damn. So like I've always been jaded about collecting them because I'm like, it's so much history I lost.
So you and I have a similar story. Oh my God. Oh, and I don't want to laugh at your story, laugh at your pain, but man, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I think about them more than I should.
Oh man. And you know what's funny? And I'll just reveal this one last thing from the video coming up. I said I have one comic that I was so like I loved so much that I kept it in the plastic, whatever. I did a lookup for it. It's worth like $280 now.
Damn.
I was like, damn, it was my favorite comic, and now it was worth some money. I could have cashed it in. But anyway. So let's segue over to still in comic book world to Venom. Let There Be Carnage. So I know that the industry people and reviewers and critics have seen the first screening of this.
Yep.
And the reviews are good.
Yeah.
The reviews are very good. Even some question the runtime, right? I think it's literally about an hour and a half, like hour and 35, 140, hour and 40 max.
Yeah.
Which they say is, perfect pacing and timing for this particular movie. So I don't know what you think, man. The reviews seem positive. I'm not on the fence. I'm going to go see it, but
I'm 100. I don't understand why Venom has his butt cheeks on this pole, but I am excited to see this movie. And I mean, I said it before. As soon as they had the screening, there was leaks of what the post-credit scene was, and kind of like pretty much what the movie was about. I haven't seen like full leaks on like the whole movie in general. I just know exactly what the post-credit scene, and I think this movie has big implications to not only Venom and their Spider-Verse, because Sony did name it the Spider-Verse recently.
Right.
Like that's their new thing. It not only has implications for Venom and that universe, but I'm thinking Tom Holland Spider-Man and the MCU Spider-Man. I guess theory-wise, I think they're gonna find a way to reboot the MCU Spider-Man and bring Tom Holland over to this universe. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, he it seems silly that a young Tom Holland would be faced up against a Venom, right? Or I don't know. It seems like he's outmatched.
Yeah.
And the way that they have Venom right now, he's a good guy, right? Or he's the anti-hero. So you've got a couple of challenges. Let's see here. Big Homie chimes in. Why is it PG-13? Still hype? Okay. Well go ahead.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's PG-13 just because they wanna get the bigger audience, I think. And like to Llama's point, he's not a villain right now, so there's no need for the R rating. Like I think if they went in a darker route with Venom, it would have to be an R rating. But the route they went was that he's like because I don't think when they made the Venom, when they greenlight the Venom, I don't think they were very clear on like if Tom Holland was going to be part of this universe or not, or like if they're even going to use Spider-Man in this universe. Maybe they were just going to plan on using like villains from Spider-Man and give you like the real world perspective of that. But for it to be like a R rating, I honestly thought, and I didn't see anything in the leaks that kind of gave me hope of this, but like I kind of thought this was going to be the movie that we see Venom become a villain. And I don't know necessarily if that's going to happen, but like Carnage is the perfect bad guy to maybe bring out the evil side of Venom and like Tom Hardy's Venom. You know what I mean? So like that's what I kind of thought they were going to go with. It doesn't seem that way. It still seems like he ends the movie as an anti-hero. So it's I don't want to see a Tom Holland team up with Venom. You know what I mean? And I don't think they would do that. But like that's what it seems like they're gonna go. Like I think like maybe a Morbius, because you know they're doing the vampire movie. There's talks about like a Kraven the Hunter being a villain in future line.
Yep.
So it's like I don't know what they're planning to do with this, but they have to turn him to a bad guy at some point, because otherwise you're not going to get the real Venom Spider-Man dynamic that everybody wants to see and that we didn't get in the Spider-Man 3 with the Tobey Maguire movie. We didn't really get that like good Venom story. People want to see a bad rated R. I mean, even to Big Homie's point, like we want to see that rated R version of Venom.
Listen, here's what I mean. Listen, the PG-13 is truly for dollars.
Just getting the bigger audience.
Strictly dollars. And from my understanding from the reviews say that it's exactly what it needed to be in terms of the frenetic pace, the violence, the gore, all that stuff is exactly where it needed to be in terms of the reviews. So they're getting glowing reviews. The industry is liking this movie. Is strict to theaters, but yeah, the PG-13 I think is strictly a dollars move. I'm in favor of a couple things, right? I like what Deadpool did with the second installment, right? Deadpool 2. They went to their R rating and they gave you that clean version. The hardcore version, and then they came back and it's strictly a money move. I know it was strictly a money move, but they gave you the vanilla version, like the Once Upon a Deadpool, which edited out all the stuff, and it was still highly entertaining. I took my boys to go see it, so like I was like, yeah, let's go. Dad's gonna be cool. Let's go see Deadpool. What? Yeah, Deadpool 2. We're gonna go see that. You got to be kidding me. You crazy. Yeah, no, let's go. Once Upon a Deadpool. And then he comes out and he says, hi, kids, and I'm like, oh. But why not? Why not? If you really want to get people in, do that. Have a different version. Like I have no problem with Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Like, fix it. That's fine. But I'm not a purist where you tell me, oh, this is the only way the movie can be. I could care less. Like I'll give you a good example. Anchorman. I don't know if you watched Anchorman or Anchorman 2. They both have unrated extended versions. And when I tell you that they're hysterical and they're great, and it's great for someone like me who's watching it at home. Yeah. It's funny. It's great. But the first one was better. The originals were better. But that's good. Like, give people content, give people what they want, and that's fine. Like, give me the theatrical version and give me the extended cut. I love extended cuts. I think the best extended cut I've ever seen is to this day is the Godfather saga. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could find it somewhere.
I've never seen the Godfather ever.
Okay, hold on. The saga or the movie?
No, none of them. And saga movie, none of them.
AD.
I have never seen Scarface in total as well. I've seen a lot of bits and pieces of Scarface. Never watched it like from front to back.
All right, this show's over.
We're gonna have to throw me on the Patreon watching The Godfather.
I'm gonna throw you on the Patreon. You need to watch those movies. I don't know if I have that much hard drive space for 3.5 hour movies, but AD.
Sorry.
I'm crying. I'm crying more than I did at the to Field of Dreams.
No, I've let you down, Llama. I've let you down.
Big homie says, "Get him." Yeah, exactly. Big homie, tell me you've at least seen The Godfather or you've seen Scarface. I mean,
he's one of the people that give me shit for it.
Listen, AD, both llamas have seen Scarface. Both Little Llama and Junior Llama have seen Scarface, and they've seen both Godfathers.
I'm sure I've seen Scarface. Here's the thing. I've seen Scarface every time I go to a pizzeria. It's always playing, and it's always playing at a different part. So I've seen the movie, just never sat down and watched it from front to back. But I know, you know what I mean? I've seen it. It's almost like the leaks. Like, I know what happens.
Big homie. Everything Mafia. Yes.
That's why we're going to start the Llama Mafia.
That's it. Listen, man. Listen.
You come to me and tell me you haven't seen this film.
You cannot do a GTA animated series with voices and then not know the lore in which it came from. Vice City is Scarface. And the rest of it is taken from inspiration from The Godfather. Now, man, I've been derailed on this conversation. I was so excited to tell you about the Godfather saga.
He's like, I don't even want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, I just want to throw my microphone. It's done. No, honestly, I'll come back so we could save face a little bit. No, the Godfather saga. If again, you have to have seen the first two originally, and so it won't be that good to you. It's a 6.5 hour, 7 hour like complete cut of both 1 and 2 with all the extras, all the extended features, all the deleted scenes. And it is amazing. It is amazing. It's probably the best one I've ever seen. I saw it on HBO, but I had to watch it in parts. So there's no way I can sit down for 6 hours. Yeah. But yeah, man, you got to see that. Well, hold on. Let's go through the quiz here because I had to go through this.
Okay.
So, Goodfellas. Oh, dear God.
No.
Hold on. Big homie has some comments. This dude won't hang through with the Italian one. Oh, God.
No, I haven't seen Goodfellas.
Casino.
No, I've not any mafia style movie. No, I have a thing. In my defense, I have a thing where if the movie came out before I was born, I don't really necessarily go back and watch it unless it comes to me in a way where like I'm attentive to it. I just don't go back. Even it's the same with music. Like it took me forever to like go back and listen to like Biggie. You know what I mean? I actually give Biggie the listen because like I grew up in my era of music and I always thought my era of music was better. And I understand as an adult, I need to go back and see what came before. I will one day. I just haven't, and I'm sorry I disappointed you.
No disappointment. No, you know what? Again, I keep forgetting your age. You're a late 20s, early 20s, right? No, how old are you?
No, 28.
Okay, so you're in late 20s. I can forgive. I can forgive that because, you know, now if you're my age and you haven't seen these, I slap you through this internet. That's how I do it. I put my hand through the screen and I say, pa pa pa.
You're gonna look at me like Cinder looked at you when you say you didn't see Field of Dreams.
Yeah, exactly. And he was sitting right next to me. Like that look was right next to me. That was embarrassing.
I thought he was gonna walk out, but we're never gonna see him again. I'm glad he came back for the next episode.
I thought he was gonna flip the table. That's how bad it was. Oh my God. So yes. I will say this though. My sons have a different perspective on these movies than I did, right? I thought and this is me being honest. I thought Scarface is the greatest thing ever made. I love Scarface. I got Scarface posters in here. It's one of my favorite movies. I showed it to my kids. They loved it. But they're like, not as good as this, not as good as that. And I'm like, I want to smack you right now.
Yeah.
Where you sit. But when they gave me their points as to why, it made sense. It made sense. I'm looking at it from a different view, different perspective. When they're like, I've seen it all. I've seen this before. I've seen this. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they get it in video games. So in Call of Duty, there's a that Miami area. Mm-hmm. That's all Scarface.
Yeah.
The inspired by Scarface.
Yeah.
Man, we could do a whole show on Scarface, man. That'd be fun.
But I mean, it makes sense. It's just think about it. When you saw it, it was groundbreaking for the most part. Like those movies were like you've never seen movies like that. That was the time. Like everybody that was like the generations ahead of me, at least from what I've seen growing up, they all love those mafia style movies. And I mean, that was just the time. It's the same as like why Wu-Tang was so into like kung fu movies, because it was that time period. Like you've never seen anything like that. Like at this point, it's been done so many times. Like you probably can say maybe this movie's better, but like in terms of like when the film came out, the time period it came out, like you got to give it its credit.
Yeah, no, and the funny thing about Wu-Tang is I would look for the samples. Like, where did they get that sample from? From that movie? And I'd go watch the movie. The movies were terrible. I mean, there's this thing called Samurai Sunday, and the local channel 33 down south, man. I would watch it religiously on Sundays. And as a kid, thought it was the greatest things ever made. These guys jumping around.
Yeah.
But the dubbing was so horrible. I'll get you. You know, I'll teach you and you're a master. You know, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
So as a kid, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Now I watched a couple of those. It was on Netflix. They had the 36 Chambers. They had all these Shaolin things. And I'm watching the dub version. I'm going, I thought this was actually good. Like, I didn't even pay attention to the dialogue. I just like, you're my master. Ugh. And I'm like, oh, God. Terrible, terrible dubs, man. Anyway. Let's see. So again, Venom is getting good ratings. Should do well. And the fact that they moved it to
it's
theaters only.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, theaters only. There's no other. They made that decision because of Shang-Chi, and poor Shang-Chi. Like we've got Shang-Chi to talk about at the end of the show, and we're already at an hour and 30 almost. And so I don't know that we're going to get.
It seems Shang-Chi. Like last week we were planning to talk about it. We don't want to ruin it for Lenny, so it was like Shang-Chi's just on the back burner. Great movie though.
Yeah, listen.
I only fell asleep for 10 minutes. That's all.
Well, like the mother backstory, we're never going to get to it.
Oh man. But yeah, man, the Venom movie, I'm super excited for. I'm excited because Carnage, growing up, Carnage was one of like the most. To me, it was like one of the most insane villains I've ever seen. So like to see it in live action, and then you got a good actor to portray him, like. This should be a very good movie, and it should do well in the box office. But like I said, from the post, what do you call it? The post-credit leak, it's gonna change. It's gonna change a lot.
Yeah, and that's the reviewers who came out said, you have to stay. Obviously, anyone who knows these movies stays for the post-credit.
You have to. Yeah.
I mean, it's a staple now. But. Honestly, I'm stoked. I can't wait to see it. I was on the fence about it because of the way that they're portraying Venom and the whole comedy thing. But with these reviews, right, and they're saying that the pacing is right and that Woody Harrelson brings that horror element and he's perfect. He's perfect as Carnage in this. I'm excited now because that's going to sway me in this particular movie. All right, we got one more topic here, and the Batman. So the Batman, there's some leaks there.
A trailer came out.
Yeah,
I guess a full trailer.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. The full trailer. I don't know. I'm still not sold as Robert Pattinson as Batman, but what I'm hearing is that it is a very, very different take on the the Batman and the whole, like, it's not the Dark Knight, it's not anything you're thinking of. It is complete. It is a little bit more on the horror side, right, or the seedy criminal element type stuff. So I'm excited because it's something different. I know I'm definitely going to be watching something different. So
this is a movie that I could see. Like I was trying to look right now to see if we got a rating for it. I don't think it's probably too early for it. But if it is PG-13, it's going to be like at the very edge. And that's another point I want to bring before we even move on. PG-13 seems like, especially with these like superhero movies, they're kind of like pushing the thread on them a little bit. I forgot what I was watching, but like somebody mentioned like The Winter Soldier. that was like a PG-13 show. But like you saw the wannabe Captain America.
Oh
When
yeah, yeah.
he killed somebody, he got the blood on the shield, and like that's one thing about PG-13 is like they don't want that much blood, but like it seems like they're trying to like push the envelope on the PG-13, so like you might not necessarily get the hard R, but they want to give you as close to that as they can. So like with this movie, with the Batman movie in particular, it's gonna be it's gonna be a darker version, but also we've never seen on film this Batman. Like this is Batman in I believe year one or his second year as Batman. Every Batman we've seen, he's been through it all. We've seen kind of like maybe a little bit of his origin, a little bit of his training, but the main meat of all the Batman stories, he's already been Batman for years. He's already kind of gotten in his groove. This we're gonna see a young Bruce Wayne become Batman, and I think we're gonna see like maybe why Batman doesn't want to kill people. You know what I mean? Like that line, maybe he hits that line where like, oh, I don't want to pass this. You know what I mean? Like Joker, that's Joker's like big thing is like, hey, I want you to kill somebody. I want you to break your moral code. So I feel like this movie, we're gonna see the darkest version of Bruce Wayne himself. You know what I mean? Not necessarily the movie. I think the movie's gonna be dark because from what I'm hearing, like the Riddler is gonna be the main villain, but like it's gonna be like Saw style riddles. So like I'm just excited about this movie because if it does good, we're gonna get a pretty good storyline from this. I don't think this is gonna be the only Batman with Robert Pattinson, especially if it gets good reviews.
Yeah, no, and that's what I heard too. I heard that the Riddler is going to be very creepy, very sadistic, and very violent in terms of the body count, the way that the bodies are, and very much a murder mystery, like a Seven, that type of thing.
Actually, I heard like that was like a big inspiration for this movie. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that I'm all in on that because that's a different, and it's funny. It's a different genre and a different way of looking at it, but definitely a movie I want to watch because I haven't seen a Seven in a long time. I haven't seen some of these like gritty, crime films like that in a long time. The fact that it has Batman in it obviously is a more familiar character, but I like that. I like the chasing the serial killer type movies. I like those suspense movies like that, and so. And I know Robert Pattinson, so for the big homie, obviously he was in Harry Potter, right? And he died. He died in Harry Potter. Cedric Diggory or Grigory, whatever his name is. And then, then he was a vampire in Twilight. So, like, you have, unfortunately, like, people not in the mainstream, but like that's all they know of this guy, and so he's done some amazing things. I know he's in Tenet. He was in that Light Towers or Watchtower movie.
There was a movie about 9/11 that he was in, and that movie messed me up because I had no clue what it was about until it ended, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. No, he's a great. Honestly, if I'm being honest, right, the dude's a great actor. He's putting in a lot of great performances. Underrated. Right, for sure. But he's getting his due, and I think this could be a nice breakout role for him, especially if it's a weird adaptation of Batman, which is going to be good.
Even with what we're hearing from the Riddler, it also gives Batman that, like, the investigator side of Batman. We've never really even seen that. Like, that's one of obviously he's rich, he can fight, but like his biggest asset is his mind and how he figures these things out, how he navigates through these I was gonna say crime, like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, you know what I mean? Like he's an investigator. That's Batman's thing. So like this movie is gonna give us that. And also I heard there's a lot of the only thing I'm worried about is there's a lot of like behind the scenes issues, it seems like, with Robert Pattinson and like Matt Reeves.
Yeah, and that's proving to be an issue because if they're going to continue this partnership, because if Matt Reeves knocks it out of the park, Pattinson's got to be part of the project, and so that's going to be definite issues. Now, Big Homie's got some issue here. He says, "Rip Cedric and all Hufflepuff hopes."
Oh man.
Big homie, I got to ask you this, and this is not I'm not calling you out. Which is your favorite Harry Potter movie? I got to know this.
That's a good question.
I mean, I'll tell you mine, but I want to see what yours is first. So, big homie, I'm waiting for you to respond to that one.
Here, I'll go. While we wait, I'll go. I'm not. My favorite is Chamber of Secrets, but because I don't think there was a trailer that like captivated me more than that first trailer when they showed like Malfoy and Harry, which I was disappointed when I saw the movie. But Malfoy and Harry on the table, like they were actually gonna battle. I remember seeing that in theaters for the first time, like, oh, this second movie is gonna be crazy. And then they kind of like didn't give me what I thought was gonna be that scene.
Yeah.
But to me, that sticks out. That will always stick out because I was like, holy, like I was not expecting that, and I was like, man, this movie is gonna be great. Yeah, so I gotta go Chamber of Secrets.
But mine is Goblet of Fire, and I do like the other. I like the later installments too, like a lot. But Goblet of Fire, I can rewatch over and over again. I think that's the one where Cedric dies.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like it.
Tri-Wizard Tournament. Yeah.
You know, it for like, and I think that was the big return of Voldemort. Mm. So I think it was because there were so many payoffs in that movie, at least for me, that I liked that movie so much. And there was Crumb, and there was these, you know, all these other wizards coming in from other schools. So much fun, and that's why
I even like the at the beginning, like the Quidditch like World Cup thing. Like I thought that was awesome to see on screen.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like that movie got me. Now, you know, oh, here we go. Personal favorite. Here we go. So Big Homie responds. He says, personal favorite is Order of the Phoenix because they're older and handling business. But Goblet of Fire for the Tri-Wizard Tourney. Yes. Yeah, see,
respectable.
I'm on the same wavelength with Big Homie there because I'm telling you, I like the fact when they're older, they're handling business and they're doing things the right way. But that Tri-Wizard Tournament, I can watch it over and over and over again. That's how much fun that is. In fact, like I said, I do have the disc set, and I've been wanting to rewatch it with my new surround sound. So
this might be inspiration for that.
Well, to record that would be difficult, but because that's I got to mute the sound and everything else. But that's awesome. All right, so Pattinson, I think, like I said, he's definitely gonna show his worth right here. Definitely a make or break for him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. And then there was Shang-Chi, as they say. Oh man, what?
I was gonna say, where do we start with this?
Where do we start with this movie? I mean, the movie was amazing. It was great. The reviews were great. I do like I didn't like the only thing I didn't like, and I said it in my movie review, was how easily his father was swayed.
Yeah.
Other than that, pretty flawless, pretty great. I mean, and a good nod to all the kung fu cinema and the, you know, the different fight choreographies that were out there. Just a little of everything, man. I mean, I do
think the father was like a good, compelling bad guy for Marvel. Like he was like his story. I mean, he made you kind of feel like, oh, he might be a little right in what he's doing. I get what you're saying because it seemed like. It seemed like this guy was literally he was conquering, and then all of a sudden he falls in love, and it's kind of like the only thing that can like make him stop conquering was love, and then as soon as she dies, he goes back to what he was doing, and it's like a weird like plot device. But as a bad guy, as a villain for the movie, I thought it was dope. I thought his payoff, like at the end, like obviously spoiler alert, the movie's been out for a while, but when he died, I kind of thought it was like I didn't get the impact that I thought I was going to get when he died.
Right. It needed to be a little bit more, I think, dramatic, a little bit more heroic, or doing something very selfless. So he did die selflessly, but there was a missed opportunity with him. Maybe even reuniting with her in the spirit world, something. With his wife, I think would have made that a more touching scene. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I didn't. And the one thing I kept seeing people say is like, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll this. And I didn't cry, and I'm usually a crier. It was a great story. I was hooked. I what didn't get that emotional connection to the father.
Hmm.
And because you know what it is I think it's a series of flashbacks to how much of a dick he was, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and how much he wanted to conquer the world. And I think that's the part that it's tough to get attached to something like that. And Shang-Chi didn't show a lot of emotion
Hmm.
himself. Like he wasn't that torn up about his father. He was torn up about his mother, obviously, but
Also, his sister. I
right,
think like when they went back to like her feeling like he left her, abandoned her, like you could see like he felt that. Also, like she felt it as well. I thought that was like the biggest like to me it was like the more emotional part that we got from Shang-Chi because it was clear they had a connection, you know what I mean, as brother and sister, but it was clear like she did feel abandoned. She got left with the father who clearly didn't like not want her around. You know what I mean? Not that he didn't want her around, but like he wasn't training her. She went and trained herself. She was like honestly, she became who she was in spite of her father.
right, right. And
I
I
thought she
think
was a great character.
yeah, oh no, she was a great character, and it was a good message to sort of send out for her, and the fact that she takes over the Ten Rings
Yeah.
at the end to me is going to be awesome, and that's why I think I said it in the review. Perfect setup for a sequel
Hmm.
because there is now conflict between the family, between Shang-Chi and his sister. She's definitely has a different purpose, and she's going to be manipulated by somebody to use those 10 rings for nefarious purposes. So
Yeah, and she already has power because she built that underground fight, like underground fighting thing. But I got a question. Like, do you think he's gonna be like the next leader of the Avengers?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see him. He's gonna have to have a good story arc. Like I say, Captain America from the beginning, you knew he was a good leader.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm not seeing a clear cut leader in this next phase.
Yeah.
Unless it comes, one of the Fantastic Four, or if it comes, because Captain Marvel's not a leader, and so
Yeah.
she's not going to be, she's not inspiring the way Captain America was,
Yeah.
and so I'm having a hard time thinking, and it's not the new Falcon or the new Captain America. It's not
No.
him, because he's having a hard time just being Captain America. So
I mean, by the time we see him again, maybe he's a little bit more into the role. But I feel like just Simu Liu's like performance and like people loved his performance in this movie. So I feel like now maybe they see the success of this movie, they might try to push him as like the front man of the Avengers going forward in the next couple of years.
I see him more like what they do with Black Panther, which is
Mm,
he's leader in his world and his country or his thing, and he is a critical part of that. But he is more of a fan favorite
yeah,
than he is the leader of the Avengers, right? Like when T'Challa was on screen and the Black Panther shows up, you're hooting and hollering, but
yeah,
you know he's not the leader of the Avengers.
yeah,
And again, nothing against T'Challa, but it was just like he's got his own world, his own things to deal with, and so he's clearly not as involved. And I think Shang-Chi will be the same way. I think he's got to now he's got time to grow, just like Tony Stark did. So there is time to develop him over the course. But how does he interact with the Eternals? How does he interact with the Fantastic Four who are coming around the corner? The X-Men.
Guardians of the
He's
Galaxy.
Yeah, the Guardians. So he definitely has to start. I think for now, no. But can he be? Who knows? Who knows how they
Yeah,
develop his story arc over the next couple of movies? Now, the thing is, what movie will he appear in next? Where will he team up next? That's the key. Isn't because you definitely have a Shang-Chi 2.
yeah,
That's all that's in the books, wrapped up in a can. You're done, because between him and his sister, you've got a whole nother movie there. But how does he interact with the rest of the heroes in the world? And that'll be interesting. That'll be
yeah.
interesting. So there's a lot to explore with him. I will say this: Aquafina's performance. I wasn't. I'm a fan of Aquafina's. I like her in her movies. I like her comedy. I like her rapping. I like everything about her. She's just a crazy character. I honestly thought she was going to be over the top,
Yeah.
and I thought she was going to be annoying. and I was completely wrong. I was
Yeah.
completely wrong. She actually came off as likable in the role. She's a little bit unorthodox in terms of a love interest for him, and that's a question too. Like, are they a love interest or not? Because
Yeah.
she's not the traditional, you know,
I could see her being the love interest, or like even just like the sidekick, like the.
She has more sidekick qualities than love
Yeah.
interest, but she's definitely, you know, shows her range in the movies
Yeah.
because, you know, and she held her own. Like she
Yeah.
didn't, and Shang-Chi didn't have to be right next to her the whole time, which was great. I liked that they gave each of the characters. I think you said that where they gave each of the characters their own time, their own story. But I thought it was great. I think again, it was a great time at the movies. I saw it in IMAX.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it in IMAX. That was crazy. That scaffolding scene in by the Fight Club
Yeah.
was
Fire.
freaking amazing on IMAX, man. Like that was shot perfect for IMAX.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great way to start this phase. I mean, it showed a lot of range with Marvel too. Like, this was such a different type of movie than we've seen in any of the movies, really, because like this was way more grounded than even like the Spider-Man movies have been. Like, because Spider-Man is mostly a street level, like, and that's the thing. It was very grounded, but then you still had like the mythical elements, because obviously the end of it, which I did have a little bit of problem with. Like, it was a lot of CGI at the end,
Yeah,
but there was no other way to bring those characters to life, so I understand why. But I wonder if like that, like if he is, I mean, he's gonna be in the an Avengers movie, but like there's not gonna be like that kind of mythical element to it, you know what I mean? Or maybe it could be, and who knows?
I mean, I would have. The only thing missing from that is understanding who that beast was.
Yeah,
Why that beast was there. I'm sure they're going to explain it. I give it to Marvel to do the right things on that, but I didn't. That's why I think I wasn't as invested in the final fight as I wanted to be. Is I don't know. They're just scared of this thing behind the wall.
yeah,
I don't know anything about it. Listen. That's a good time for a flashback.
yeah.
Show that thing coming out and eating everybody. That'd be great.
Yeah, even like one of those like pre-scroll, like for like the Star Wars movies, like something like that. Even just like to give us a backstory of it, because you're right, like we really didn't know anything about it. They didn't really tell us anything, and then he just came. We saw what it can do. Like, they did a good job of that. Like, when it released like some of the little monsters, we saw what it can do, and it was even like a funny, like one of my favorite parts was like, it's like, we need to team up. He's like, we don't team up with anybody. Sees one of the souls get snatched, like, we're gonna team up.
We're gonna do it, man. Let's go.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Oh man, that guy. That guy was the guy from Creed, right? He was in.
The Drago guy. Maybe
he was Drago. Yeah, he was the young Drago. Which I
didn't even pick that up.
Well, it's my sons told me, because I was watching. I'm like, man, that guy looks familiar. I don't know.
I thought
where I've seen him from. And little Llama's like, yeah, that's Drago from Creed 2. I was like, oh my god.
Man.
So yeah, that guy was funny, man. He did a good job on that movie. Oh man. All right, man. We're getting close to the bewitching hour, man. We've been on for an hour and 47. So for our podcasters, this is good for you if you've been listening to us for this long time on your long road trips, right?
Yeah. Long work days.
Long work days. If you're just sitting there listening, that's what we do. Yeah, no, I've been studying podcasts, man. I've been listening to different podcasts, and you know, they're all very close to the microphone. They're talking like this, and so how are you today? You know, they've got fake podcast voices. I don't like that, man. It's like, hey Susie, how are you today? Nah, we can't do that, man.
No, I like the podcasts that are like natural conversation. Like today, honestly, last couple episodes we had guests on, so like we haven't had like this dynamic, but today reminds me of like, this is why this works, because we have good banter between us. I mean, we even had Big Homie in the chat. We had what was it, Frog Surgeon. Shout out to Scotland. Appreciate you. Oh, today was a good episode, man.
Yeah, Mama Llama was in the house.
Mama Llama was in there. Yeah.
John Gillen, one of our homies.
He has the notifications on for sure.
Oh,
yeah, as soon as it's on, he's there.
In the same comment every time.
Yeah.
How's it going, road to whatever, right? He's got it down tight to a science.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen. Let's plug a couple things.
Yep.
Again, the podcast is available. So those of you watching us live or on a replay, make sure you hit Spotify, hit Google Podcasts, and now Apple Podcasts for your podcast needs. Big Llama Show podcast. Look it up. It is the Big Llama Show with a D. This show will be live. Will be up and running tonight. Everything we talked about, everything will be available. But please make sure that you at least subscribe to one of those. And if you want to support the channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do have a Patreon, and it's going to be in a link in future videos. But it's not. Its only purpose is for the copyrighted stuff and our long movie length recordings. So if you want to check those out, you definitely need to subscribe to that. So anything going on in your world the next week? What do you got going on, man?
I got a lot of split gauge streams coming up this week. I'm planning to go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then whenever else I have time. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm trying to make it a point to stream and go for a long hour. So just follow me on Twitch /blackout_AD and blackout AD on pretty much everywhere. TikTok, all those.
All right. And for me this week, tomorrow morning sometime, you're going to have the premiere of the Field of Dreams YouTube edit of the watch along. The movie length, the full length, is already on Patreon. And the second movie I picked, I'm doing 2 movies, so it'll be twice a week. I'm going to pick a movie I've never seen, and then the second movie is a retro rewatch. So I'm going to take a movie I saw as a kid and see it through the eyes of a 40-something-year-old. I'll explain where I was when I watched it the first time, what I thought about it, and then does it still hold up? And what are my comments as I watched my childhood memories? So the next movie that's already been picked out is The Never Ending Story. So look out for that one later on this week. Never Ending Story. Again, the Field of Dreams watch with me crying will be on tomorrow morning sometime on a program.
I'm excited to see that.
Oh man! And you know what? You know what's bad? And I've watched, and we're gonna close it out in a minute. But what's bad is I've watched a couple people do these rewatches, and I watched their 20-30 minute snippets. And when they cry, they talk through the cry, right? They're like, "Oh, why?" And so, like me, I'm not doing that. I'm like what you see is this: you see me looking at the camera, and we're like, oh, glasses come off and wiping my eyes. Oh God! And then I realized like my voice is quivering, and so I got to stop before I give you the ugly, chin. And I really am soaking it in, But that's what happened in this one. It is. If you watch the full length one, it's like 10 minutes of just me like looking away, trying not to look at the camera. In the quick edit, I'm like, oh yeah, trying not. I'm like, I didn't, and then the good thing about the edit is, I was able to chop it so it's not as long.
Yeah.
But like I found myself having a hard time talking through it, like to say, yeah, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. I'm like, that's thinking in my brain, but I'm like, nope, I'm not saying anything right now.
Hey, man.
It'll be fun.
That sounds like a good content right there.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to upload it tonight and see, make that happen.
Sweet.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you for watching the replay. Make sure to like and subscribe. Always subscribe to the Big Llama Show. Become a member of the Llama Nation. Thank you, AD, as always, as my guest host and co-host. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm the Big Llama. This is the Big Llama Show. Peace out, everybody.